What's going on, MMA fans? I'm here to do CBS Lead XC Saturday Night Fights coming on at 9 p.m. Saturday. Let's see, May 30th, May 31st, somewhere around there. Can't remember today's date. Nonetheless, I'm going to break down the 5 fights that are important here. Probably what's going to be on the main card, work my way from the bottom all the way to the top, and break down the fights for you and talk about them. First fight of the night is going to be Phil Baroni versus Joey Villasenor, the Dream Smasher. Phil Baroni, of course, is most famous in the UFC, known for knocking out Dave Menne, vicious knockout. It was like within 30-something odd seconds. I can't remember how quick that was. He's fought Matt Lindland in the past. He's fought Evan Tanner twice. Actually, in the second fight, cut so much weight that he was just so sucked up that his cardio has, at least in that fight, was just horrible, and even since then his cardio has been really bad. He's fought Ryo Chonin, Ikahishu Minowa, can never say his name right, Yuki Kondo, Kazuo Masaki, and then just recently, of course, he fought Frank Shamrock. Joey Villasenor has fought Ryan Jensen, Ninja Hua, David Loazo, let me see who else has he fought, Robbie Lawler, Jorge Santiago, and he's also fought Ryo Shonin. So, the Piranha, fighting in the UFC, of course, right now. This fight's going to be pretty, at least to me, easy to call. Joey Villasenor, of course, fighting out of Greg Jackson's camp, of course, famous for GSP. I think in this fight, Joey Villasenor is going to be able to outclass Phil Baroni. Better hands, at least better ground game, most definitely, better submissions. Phil Baroni, at times in his career, and even now, he gets gassed very easily. Has problems with cutting weight, and I really don't see where he's going to outclass Villasenor in this fight. However, Baroni's got that one-punch knockout power, but I don't see that happening. So I'm going to pick Joey Villasenor via a unanimous decision. I don't think he's going to stop Phil Baroni, but I think he's going to outclass Phil in this fight in every aspect of the game. Next fight, Brett Rogers versus John Murphy. Brett Rogers, of course, is famous for knocking out James Thompson, who's going to be later on in the main event tonight. He's also fought Ralph Kelly and stopped him via submission. I think it was for strikes. It was either TKO or submission strikes, one of the two. And then John Murphy, of course, is fighting Brett Rogers. He got knocked out by Houston Alexander, which is not a good sign. He's also fought Sherman Pendergrast, and also he just recently fought in the Elite XC Dave Huckabee, I believe. So this fight, I don't see where Murphy's going to be able to withstand Brett Rogers. I think this is going to be a quick fight. They're both going to come out at each other. Rogers is probably going to land a punch, maybe a couple punches. It's going to be a knockout, more than likely. So I'm going to call a first-round knockout. Rogers is pretty well-rounded. I think he's a little better than Murphy in multiple aspects of the game, but we shall see. MMA's MMA, anything can happen. Next fight, Gina Carano versus Caitlin Young. Caitlin Young fighting out of the Minnesota Martial Arts Academy, famous for Sean Shirk, who fights in the UFC. Gina Carano, she's on a win streak right now. I think it's like 6 or 7 fights. She just fought Tanya Evinger at the last Elite XC and rear naked choked her. Caitlin Young is knocked out of several people. She's got very good hands. Where she is lacking, though, it seems, is when people come at her and her defense. She doesn't seem to be able to strike very well in retreat, and it shows. I mean, in her fight against Sarah Schneider, perfect example, her last fight, I believe it was her last fight, she was doing pretty well in that fight. She landed some good combinations, and when Schneider came at her, she just seemed like a fish out of water, and then it resulted in the armbar later on in that fight. So I think Gina Carano is going to win this fight, probably in the second round. I'm going to say a TKO or a knockout. I think she outclasses Caitlin Young. She's got better jiu-jitsu, better stand-up. I don't see where Caitlin Young's going to be able to beat her in this fight. Next fight, Robbie Lawler versus none other than Scott Smith, the Hands of Stone, I believe is what his nickname is, or Stone Smith, or whatever. Anywho, he's fought numerous guys in the UFC before moving up into the Elite XC. He just fought Kyle Noki and knocked him out via a knockout. He's fought Ed Herman, lost to him. Ed Herman, of course, famous in the UFC. He's also fought in the past Dave Terrell and Patrick Cote. Robbie Lawler has fought the likes of Nick Diaz, Chris Lytle, Evan Tanner. He's beaten Joey Villasenor via the vicious flying knee back in Pride 32, if I remember right. He's also fought Frank Trigg, and just recently, of course, he beat Ninja for the title. So this is a big fight. I think Lawler outclasses Scott Smith in every facet of the game. He's got good ground game, good submissions, good jiu-jitsu. Scott Smith, one chance in this fight, it's going to have to be to knock Robbie Lawler out. No, Robbie Lawler's got a good chin, so I don't know that Scott Smith's going to be able to knock him out. I think Robbie Lawler is going to finish this fight. I'm going to say either a second or third round TKO. Next fight, the main event, Kimbo Slice versus James Thompson. Kimbo, of course, has fought Bo Cantrell and Tank Abbott just recently. James Thompson in his career has fought Fujita, Butterbean, Don Fry. He's fought Alexander Emelianenko. He's fought many good heavyweights along his... just lost my train of thought. Along his MMA career. Thompson has one way of winning this fight. That's take it to the ground. I don't know if that strategy is going to work. I don't know if he's going to be able to take Kimbo down. So I'm going to go with Kimbo Slice and say that he's probably going to win via a first-round knockout, because something tells me that James Thompson's going to want to try to come out and swing with Kimbo, and if he does, he's going to get knocked out. Thompson does not have a very good chin, and his striking isn't exactly up to par, I think, with very many mixed martial artists right now in the heavyweight division, any heavyweight division. So I think Kimbo will take it, but if James Thompson comes out with a game plan, he might be able to win this fight. So we'll see what happens. Those are my picks and my predictions. I will be back sometime next week with a review video. Leave me some comments, constructive, negative, positive. Let me know what you think. And you guys, have a great day.